Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Up only.
Hello and welcome to Up Only TV. I'm Ledger. Feels honestly completely absurd even having the rocket launch intro at the moment, but that's what we've got. Thanks for being here with us, and we will get straight to the show. We've got Cobie, of course, and Zane Tackett, who's an previous insider at FTX. Let's hit it if I can switch over to that view. Cobie, good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I feel like we've done one of these episodes every day or something.
It feels like
it. I don't know, but it's because I'm getting little sleep, so I don't know what day is which. And then obviously we did the stream on the day that the news came to light, right? I was in bed and you called me and was like, "We've got to go live now." I was like, I'm a little bit drunk, but that just day seemed so absurd to me, that it was sort of like an ongoing comedy in a way. And then the following days felt like, okay, now we've reached the tragedy section. And, they're off a little oscillation back and forth here and there. And now I just feel exhausted, numb,
yeah,
drained.
I started the show with the FTX logo on. I didn't even realize how unnecessary that was because I was used to it from the last year. So sorry, I took that off. Chat, no conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Anyway, Zane, welcome. How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been a long one. I can definitely relate to the days just kind of starting to blend together. I literally haven't slept the last 2 nights, so it's been hectic.
Yeah.
Let's give people just a little bit of context because I don't think the typical viewer is going to know who you are and what you've been up to and all that. But let's just start with what your title was at FTX. You left your position unexpectedly, kinda. You had resigned, but then got your Slack turned off unexpectedly because you were sick.
Yeah.
What was your title? What were you doing as of yesterday?
So I was head of institutional sales. So I ran, the VIP team and managed all of our large customers. And when I found out what was going on Tuesday, I informed Sam and the executives that I'd be there to help the clients kind of weather the storm and get through this and try to help them as much as possible. But after that, I wouldn't be able to continue on. So my expectation was I'd continue to kind of fulfill my role until all the pieces have settled and things are kind of in a clear place. And then sunset the relationship there. But all of a sudden I went to go into Slack and it was gone. And it's hard to communicate information if I don't have access to it.
Yeah. So chat's kind of going wild. Apparently FTX hot wallets are currently being drained
or consolidated into some other wallet, but there's only speculation about what's going on, right?
So is there any actual information that is anyone saying this is?
So yeah, it seems like again, I don't have access to internal comms or anything, but it seems like FTX US and FTX.com are consolidating balances, and then as to what happens with the balances once that's done, I'm not too sure on how bankruptcy procedure works.
Swapping, but they're selling stuff, right? Apparently they tried to sell Chainlink, but something went wrong. They swapped Tether for DAI.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird transactions on 1inch.
Yeah, it's I'm quite curious here is I wonder if you just need to get everything into USD and that's kind of what you base it off of, and so maybe they're seeing that that's how they can get the best conversion to USD. Maybe you're trying to get the liabilities and assets to match up 1-to-1, and so they had a surplus of USDT.
Surely swapping everything in a single transaction on 1inch is not the best execution you could get in this scenario.
So before you hopped on, I was also mentioning this with Ledger. It's who's actually managing this? Is this you know, it was just like some guy who's running the bankruptcy procedure, and it's his first time ever interacting with DeFi, or is like us with them monitoring or overseeing. I'm not sure.
Can we, just to back up a little bit again though, like you were saying as recently as yesterday, you spent time with Sam and we're trying to figure out, still at least some people as a team, we're trying to say like what options are there that I guess are not bankruptcy. Like, can you raise money? Can you have a Twitter thread talking about tokenization? That was after you left, but like, I presume y'all were looking through all potential outcomes to make customers whole or plug a hole or whatever, as early as yesterday or as late as yesterday.
Yeah. So yesterday morning was like, and I'm obviously not an expert in how the ideal bankruptcy procedure goes, but I just don't see how going through bankruptcy would be superior to just returning whatever assets or making whatever assets you currently have available for withdrawal to users. And then there is a sizable amount of illiquid assets that you can give them a token that gives them proportional right to, and then they get whatever you currently have and a chance of getting something more in the future. And then that way you have certainty up front. It gets done a lot quicker. But the flip side to that is, we're regulated in a wide range of jurisdictions. I have no idea how regulators approach, tokenizing debt and kind of avoiding a bankruptcy procedure through that manner. Like when Bitfinex did it, obviously the regulatory environment was not nearly as built out or as present in the crypto markets.
Yeah. To add to context, you've been around crypto for a long time, and you were actually at Bitfinex when they had the hack. So if anybody hires Zane, just be very careful about the timing, because the Zane curse is maybe on par with the up-only curse.
Yeah, I just remember somebody posting on Twitter like, "Oh man, everything this Zane guy touches goes to shit," and like the Grim Reaper meme instantly popped into my head. So went and made that of me like knocking on Bitfinex's door, knocking on FTX's door.
Yeah.
You definitely view that as like a once in a lifetime experience. Like I was the public face of the company that went through arguably the largest heist in the history of the world, and like you're like, oh well, nothing can top that. Well, I guess I was wrong.
What about in terms of severity? I only see it in terms of the difference in like price action, but what about in the difference of how it feels on the ground, like the Bitfinex hack versus
it's
now?
very different. So like before, you were kind of talking about like the different stages you go through, and with Bitfinex, first you have the shock of like, oh wait, what? How we had a limit of 2,500 BTC a day. How did that get bypassed? How the hell did we lose 119,756 Bitcoin? But then, you have like certainty around it. Like, okay, this is what the situation is. Now we need to deal with handling it. And then kind of everything just switches into that gear, and, you have all the information to play off of, and you try to make the best of it. This one was way different because, like first it was rumors, and then, is the lack of communication continued on our end, and was like, all right, wait, why wouldn't we be addressing this if there isn't a deeper problem? And then you're like, okay, but what is the deeper problem? Is it that there was a minor hack and we need to move funds around? Is it that we're afraid that our assets don't meet liabilities, or whatever it might be? But like you're just kind of poking around in the dark. And then as time dragged on, the clarity didn't really we still never got to that point where it's like, okay, this is the exact situation. How are we going to deal with it?
With FTX.
Yeah. And so that made it a lot harder, because, you're also going to have people asking like, all right, I had this much Ethereum on the exchange. If you can just tell me how much I lost, I can try to like hedge my risk elsewhere, or, position myself best to do that. And that never happened at FTX. Like there was never, another thing is at Bitfinex, we had a snapshot. Like these are your balances as of the state. Any funds deposited after won't be counted towards the haircut that will be returned. All positions are going to be closed at this date, and it just like makes it a lot cleaner. there wasn't ever that like clear mark in this instance, and so it just made it a lot harder to operate on. And you know, when you have clients asking like, "Hey guys, what's the situation here?"
What did Sam even
I don't
say?
know.
Like in person or on Slack, or like did he say, "Hey, we have a problem and we have to solve it"? Did he say, like, did he own up? I screwed up and we have to solve. Like, what did he? What was the language like?
Not a lot. That was like kind of one of the most frustrating aspects, is that there's just a complete lack of communication. And then, you know, when there was communication, a lot of times it was like, "Hey guys, I'll try to have something out, you know, in the coming hours." And basically, like, if you don't give somebody information, then their mind just naturally goes to, you know, what's worse, right? Like they naturally think of the worst outcome. Whereas even if you give them information that they don't want to hear, but it's concrete and they can act off of it, I think it greatly improves the situation. It's like, I think that's one area where we really fumbled. If we would have just been much more transparent from the beginning, it could have been better. I don't know if resolved is the right word, but it definitely would have helped prevent this panic from spreading of like, you know, this major exchange. Why aren't they even addressing these concerns about them not being fully or having full reserves? And then the longer it goes, the more that compounds, and you're like, well, it's been this long. Like, surely if this wasn't true, they would have already addressed it and like, tried to clear things up. So it made it a lot harder.
The silence was really deafening after a while. Like at
Yeah.
first it was just like, this is ridiculous. There's no chance that they can be insolvent. Like they raised $2 billion in the last year, and like surely they've been printing money nonstop. But then there was just silence, and it started to be like, okay, the only thing that makes me think that this could be true is the fact that they just have not said anything for like 36 hours now.
Yeah.
But internally during that time, like what did you think? What did the other people inside think? Because I know that you were going on Twitter and like defending FTX, and I also know that you had 60, 70, 80% of your net worth inside FTX, like on FTX's books, which is now, I assume, you're marking to zero.
Yeah.
So
not that I just would like to clarify that I don't think that the expected value of any assets there is zero. It's just that the way that I view things is, if I don't have it, I'm just going to mark it to zero. That way I don't get disappointed. But
yeah, fair enough. But like, I guess for a lot of us, we were just like sat on Twitter, like speculating and stuff. Whereas for you, like, I guess you were sat near Sam, who was either like lying to your face or lying by omission and letting you go defend FTX in public, knowing that would tarnish your reputation and that what you were saying was not true. So was he just like lying to you?
So he wasn't lying to my face, because like before all of this broke out, I didn't see him in person. I was in Portugal up until midday Monday, I guess European time, and then flew out. And like when I landed in Miami, was when like the silence just became too much, and then I was like, all right, there's got to be something deeper here. But even then, I was trying to think like, all right, like there's no way it's that bad. Like I feel like they're just really afraid of trying to tarnish this, like what's a pretty sterling reputation, especially with all the licensing and everything that we have. And so like when it gets broken, or when the news is broken, it won't be that bad. And like, even, I mean, I'm an idiot, but even to the point that on Tuesday I deposited like 750K into FTX, because I was like, there's no way that this is going to be a death knell, or something that'll bring us down. And as to Sam lying, like it was more silence than anything. Like I originally asked, like, all right guys, we're kind of fumbling this PR, right? Like these rumors that aren't even related to us, it's related to Alameda, and like it's a very I guess you could argue, a limited view of the overall books. Like, nobody knows if they have another entity under the same parent entity that has more assets or anything like that. And so, in my opinion, it was just kind of a rumor that was being blown way out of proportion. And as an exchange, it doesn't matter if one of your clients goes under, right? Like it could be a minor hit. It could affect your liquidity or your volumes, but it's not going to affect, your ability to redeem customer deposits or anything like that. And so, the three questions that I had were, can we share that the 5% on FTX earn is just pure marketing? Can
you stop there? FTX earn 5%. Y'all were basically just doing it to get users, and you were paying it yourselves, not actually feeding yield.
That's my understanding. The earn product isn't really an institutional offering, right? Like,
Gotcha.
I deal mostly with our high frequency traders, so like that's just not something that kind of is of much interest. But yeah, I think after, like, the BlockFi news with the SEC and everything came out, it was like, all right, it's safer if we just treat it as a marketing expense. And so that was question one. Question two was just, are we solvent, fully solvent, and like, are we lending out customer funds to anybody? And then lastly, is there anything I should know that I don't know? And I just didn't get a response. So like my base level of operation is, there's no way you're touching customer funds, because like, as an exchange, that's just not something that you do. And also just like like you were saying, we raised well over $1 billion at a 32 billion valuation. We have these audits, we have all these licenses in all these different jurisdictions. Like, I've been here for 2.5 years. Things have run with pretty much, nothing more than a minor hiccup. It's like, yeah, we'll be fine. Of course, we'll be fine. So like, I had no problem going out in the public and, trying to defend FTX and sharing what, I thought was accurate. And to Sam's defense, like, he just didn't get back to me on my questions. He didn't straight up lie to me on it. I'm not sure how much that's better, but yeah. And so, I made the decision that I should go in and defend without all the details, because, I feel like it's a safe assumption. And General Sam's unbelievably busy and, doesn't usually have a very high response rate to me anyways. So kind of figured that was more of the same. And then, yeah, on the Tuesday, when like the deafening, kind of got worse and worse, or the silence got worse and worse, and it was like, all right, there's got to be something bigger here. Like, what's going on? And then he just shared the link to his Twitter post about Binance acquiring us. And then, yeah, it was that evening. I was like, look, guys, like, I clearly asked if there was anything I should know that I don't know, and it's very easy if you could just say like, hey, there's some issues that we need to look further into, maybe be a bit more careful on what you're saying, or like, hold off for now or something, but didn't let me go out there and do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it sounds pretty rough. I want to ask a little bit about like what it was like to work at FTX. Not in the last week, I guess, because like, you're now you're seeing a lot of these stories come out. You're seeing actually there was this culture of fear and bullying, but also you're seeing these like there were these big orgy sex parties in this penthouse on top of like the Bahamas or something. Like, how much of this stuff is stuff that like employees at FTX were exposed to? Sorry for the bad pun, I guess. And how much of it is like just not true, or what?
So, to be fair, like, I don't want to say whoever was saying they were being bullied is, not telling the truth, because I'm actually not aware of the specific incident that's being raised there. But like, I did comment on Twitter that that Sam will fire anybody that speaks against him. Yeah, no, that's not true. I'll get fired right away. Like I have a pretty big problem of holding my mouth when I have something to say that I think needs to be said.
As a counterpoint to that, not being fired, but I have heard directly from high level FTX people that they just straight up got like not treated the same when he was encountered in a negative sense. Was that, you think that might just have been different strokes for different people, or?
So maybe I just never got that like good treatment because I never played the yes man role. But like,
so maybe it just wasn't
kind
consistent.
of the beginning. Sam wasn't terribly responsive to me, and it kind of seemed like that was not just specific to me. There was definitely people that he was much more responsive to, and I wasn't sure why, or like what aspect it was that garnered them that more attention. But I remember I did have a problem with Sam once, and when we raised it, he's like, "Look, dude, I find talking with you to be a little bit troublesome. We have difficult conversations." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, but like the only conversations we should be having are difficult, because if it's easy, why would I bring it to you? I should be handling it myself." And so maybe just the nature of the conversations that we were having was always difficult. And yeah, I never once felt that I couldn't speak my mind. Never.
Gotcha.
But maybe that's just because I'm ignorant of other people's attempts to kind of shut that down. I don't know. As to the sex parties, that's fucking hilarious. Like, I've always kind of I feel bad talking about Sam like this. Like, I've always just kind of wondered, like, I don't think he is focused on anything outside of work ever. Like 24/7, 365. I've legitimately pondered, like, is there a sexual drive there? Is there a drive to do something besides like a brain activity? So, maybe it's not just work, but it's playing chess. But, he's always juggling like 6 or 7 things and doing pretty much each thing better than an average individual could simultaneously. And like, he just always seemed so focused on everything that he was doing.
Was he just
never
on Adderall all the time? I mean, that was the.
Did
it seem like
so? Like, I also thought that some of the other employees were just always hopped up on Adderall, and then there was one instance where I remember one of the higher up devs told me after a call, he's like, "Man, I didn't take much out of that. I'm sorry, I took too much Adderall this morning." And so I always assumed he was always on Adderall. And then later we talked about it, and he was like, "Oh no, that was like my 3rd time ever taking it, and I've taken it one more time since then." And so, like Ryan is another example of somebody who never takes Adderall and would work crazy hours without issue. I unfortunately don't have that quite same ability. Like to do the 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. 6 days a week, like, yeah, it helps.
Yeah.
And then, do you have your own personal guess of like who knew and when internally?
Yeah.
Because
was there like an
people
inner
will
circle?
be watching this and be speculating you knew and you're just like covering up for it. People will say that like it was only Sam and Caroline knew, and they were lovers and they were trying to pull off this scheme together or some shit. Where do you think that boundary lies, and who do you think was in the like inner circle of knowledge?
Okay, so there's I've thought through this a number of times, and so like there's a few different ways that I've tried to kind of dissect it. One is, are they doing this through spot margin? In which case, you can argue that the rules of the exchange were poorly built or built in a way that favored a particular firm. And so Alameda, technically speaking, was playing entirely by the rules, and parking capital there by the rules, same as anybody else could do. The issue with that is that, at its peak, there was like 4.5, or, in its recent peak, I think in last November, we hit 7 billion, but, in the last 6 months or whatever, the largest that the spot margin market got is 4.5 billion. So if they were playing entirely by the rules, that still doesn't work. Because how do you have a hole that big if you're the entire borrow and it's only half that size? And then the other thing is like the margining and collateral system at FTX it's very well designed. And so the way that IMF works is if you over collateralize in a particular asset, the more of that that you have, the bigger the haircut. And so like, I'm done all right, but like I'm not a crazy huge whale, and like I think my FTT only got like 60% collateral weighting. And so, and you're looking at like the leaked balance sheets and stuff like that, because the way that it scales, even if they had a massive amount, like the collateral value of it wouldn't have been that big. And so then it's like, okay, are you actually touching customer funds and not abiding by the same rules that everybody else plays by? And then you kind of get into the argument, like, I feel like that's a binary decision, right? Like, once you do that, I just never in a million years thought that would have happened, because like, I don't know, I've worked at a number of exchanges and I've been on the market making side, and that's just not something that you do. Like, customer funds are customer funds. That's it.
How many people could have done that?
Could have done what?
Could have made that call to say, we're moving, like customer funds are going from here to here. Like, could account admins notice that?
No.
So who
like we could have, you could say that the account admins could have gone individually account by account and checked the deposit withdrawals, but then because there isn't an on-chain transfer, you're not seeing like the total size of things, if it's adding up or not, from an internal transfer. And like, so, I'm assuming if they're sweeping the funds to Alameda, that would be an external transfer, right? It's not just a change in the database on the FTX side. It's like actually giving them the assets on chain. And at that point, it'd have to be somebody with the private keys. So multiple individuals, like, yeah.
And then how is there like not a system? I guess you don't know, and you're not a developer, so maybe it's a stupid question. But like, how is there not some check that runs on the exchange that says our user balance is what we would expect?
Yeah, so this is not something that I really check, but in speaking with people whose roles that it is to check, they shared screenshots, and it did. Like,
okay, so when someone did the fraud, they patched up the query somehow to return false.
Yeah, so I don't know how those numbers came to be. It also could have just been that there was, issues around tracking that led to a disparity that wasn't caught. If you want to give the benefit of the doubt, obviously the other side would just be that it's, more malicious and fraudulent. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm still.
Can we check in on how this hack is going, by the way?
Yeah,
Ledger?
yeah, do that.
Whatever it is. I don't know if it is.
We don't know. Or what. We don't know, and people are still asking us, like, what did you say about it at the beginning? Before we talked, you didn't even know this was occurring. Like, I asked you if you saw that the wallets were moving, and you didn't know that. So he just doesn't have a lot of information on that, y'all. That's started well after he was there. But we don't know if it's a hack or a.
The account seems to be wormholing a lot of Ethereum. Like if you go on internal TXs in the last 15 minutes, it's received like 10,000 Ether through wormhole. I guess from Solana or something. I also see that the Solana and another chain I just closed accidentally are also losing, having funds pulled.
Cobie, while you're sleuthing a little bit, I'm still trying to figure out the like binary decision. So obviously the gap in customer funds existed. We found that there's a $8 to $10 billion hole. So at some time from somewhere, money moved around and it came from customers. And what you're saying is the process for that occurring only could occur via some kind of private key multi-sig or private key management amongst whoever has that access. So like, I guess Sam and Gary or.
So I'm trying to think of like how else it would work. And I guess like to do an internal transfer, like I can do an internal transfer, like to move assets from one account to another, but there's, couldn't do it nearly in the size of 8 billion. Like there's pretty small limits on that. And then I would imagine that there would be some more reconciliation when the withdrawals happen, or to like actually take those, coins off exchange. But if I'm imagining that you're like just looking at the cold wallet and saying like, hey, we need these assets to go to that firm, or to Alameda, then it would be an on-chain transfer, and like it would be something that would be done by those that usually manage that, which means access to the private key.
So somewhere there's a list of like customer fund cold wallets, not hot wallets, where there's some transaction that got to Alameda or got to somewhere. Like it seemed like there's Sam's slush fund of doing all this shit. Like it doesn't make any sense in terms of where these billions came from, and like how the whole of actual customer funds became so big. So like, were they siphoned, or was it basically some massive wallet of customer funds? So what y'all knew internally of customer funds was always misrepresented. I just I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, so that's kind of like where my core question comes in is, is this something where it's like you wake up one day and you're like, oh shit, I just realized that there's this bug here and that leads to this huge gap. But like, so that'd be a pretty big issue that I really would hope you would catch before it hits 10 billion. But then on the other side, like it's all right, well, we'll start with a little bit, and it's like 10 times over collateralized by FTT, so it's fine. And then because there isn't any issues there, and you look at like trailing 3-month average daily withdrawal volume or whatever, you think you can do it up to a certain extent without issue, and so you just kind of get more comfortable with it and do it larger and larger, and then one day all of a sudden you have a ton of withdrawals and you're like, oh, we overestimate our ability to redeem and like plug the hole, or however you want to phrase that. And then it's like, it was kind of a growing issue over time, and then it just kind of like there's the straw that broke the camel's back, where I don't know if it's you wake up one day and all of a sudden, oh shit, like I imagine that's what happened in MT Gox. Like I don't think they slowly saw hundreds of thousands going missing, and they didn't do anything. I think it was one day they woke up and were like, oh my god, that's way too much missing. But like,
another thing that I have heard is just because the team was small and they bragged about that there was a lot of like bus factor issues. So like there couldn't even be very many people to do certain types of actions. And like the names that keep coming up are kind of some of these early Alameda transitions to FTX. So like Sam, Nishad, Gary, Caroline, like these.
Caroline's not at FTX.
No, I know, but she was on the somebody was on the Alameda side of this, right? Like,
right, yeah.
But the other three have frequently been mentioned as like high level responsibility, and just not. There's all these questions of how small can the circle be, right? Like how many people at the end of the day could be responsible, because this. Unless Sam's just got a way to just change a number in a database, which you're saying like stuff actually has to move for things to happen. So like something.
Well, no, like he could change a number any exchange can change a number in a database to whatever it is, and then you're just running like a very big fractional reserve on your exchange. But like the issue is, as far as I can tell with Alameda, is that the funds weren't on the exchange, like they were pulled out of the exchange, which requires an on-chain transaction.
Yeah, because they have to move out of the exchange, they have to. So it's not like change the number on the exchange and then borrow against it somehow.
Right. Exactly. And like if I think about it, because everybody says like, oh, how does more people not know about this? But it's like, all right, my job as head of institutional sales, like on a good day, I'll clear out my Telegram in the 3 or 4 hours after I wake up. It'll probably take another 3 or 4 hours to clear out my emails. And then by the time you're done with that, you have, maybe another hour each on Telegram that have come in since you last cleared that out, and emails. And then, you have calls sprinkled in there. And then you have your actual work, like monitoring clients, just seeing how they're doing with their volumes, how we can get them to trade spot or spot margin, or if they're not trading perps yet, why aren't they trading perps, to get their feedback on some rate limit ideas that we have. And so it's like there's so much shit that you have on your plate to do every day. You're not just sitting there and you're like, oh well, let me go take a look at our cold wallet real quick and like try to do some sleuthing here and see what I can figure out. And so I guess like if you want to apply that to some of the developers, you could have a similar thing where it's like, hey, I kind of want to build. Sam says, hey, I kind of want to build this small tool. Can you build it? And you just knock it out in a day, and like you go right back to all the other shit on your plate, and you don't really spend too much time or pay too much attention to it. And then that's the thing that kind of facilitated this.
Was there ever a time where it just became like it was weird where all the money came from, like, and because Alameda was doing tons of stuff, FTX was doing tons of stuff, Sam was personally doing tons of stuff. Did you ever wonder about that tight relationship?
I think one issue is that like I think people massively overestimate the sports deals, how much money they cost, because like if you look at like Miami Heat deal, it's what 20 years and 120 million or something like that. And then these deals have an escalator in them so that every year is more expensive. And so like the actual upfront or yearly cost of that isn't that high. So people say, like, oh, they've signed contracts for over $1 billion in sports or whatever. And it's like, all right, you look at it and the actual amount spent per year really isn't that high. And then, like the Robinhood purchase where people were like speculating whether or not Sam was going to try to take over Robinhood. The way that I first heard of Alameda was when I was on the market making EOTC side at B2C2. And I heard of these bunch of vegan nerds that were scraping websites and just like crushing it and making a shitload of money. And they just want to donate it all to charity. And so it's not like, once I got in, I fell for the, fell for the hype or something like that. It's like, no, the reason why I was interested in that team is because I saw how they executed on the OTC side. Like they really compressed spreads, and I directly saw that. And then two, like, I'm being told this by other trading firms in the market that these guys are just crushing it, and that they found a way to do the Japan arb, or try to do the kimchi arb and stuff like that. And like there's a reason why arbitrage opportunities exist. Like it's never that easy, but there are always some people that find it out. Like I know a Korean firm that did the kimchi arb, and when I asked like, how the hell did you get your bank withdrawals out? Like, well, to be honest, we never knew what the problem was. Every time we submitted one, they just sent it out. And then so they were making like millions of dollars a day on that. And so it's like, all right, I do know that they're big traders on all these exchanges. I know that they have a very well-built OTC system that does a ton of volume that is causing us to need to compress our spreads. So like I'd kind of seen their performance already in the market. And when I joined FTX, you have no idea how much impact that is. And then, you also see Sam being very bullish on Solana when it's at $3 and then it pumps up to 250. I have no idea how much of that he's taking off the table or anything like that.
Yeah, like from a personal perspective or something.
Personal, or he was still the CEO of Alameda at that point. So like I don't know if that's an Alameda Ventures trade or exactly what's happening there. But
it's not it's not inconceivable to say like they could have taken $1 billion off the table slowly into massive liquidity. Yeah.
And when after I left B2C2, I asked a lot of people, where should I look at joining next? And like CZ, John Carlo, Dan from Circle, Bobby from Cumberland, like, dude, I asked the whole street, and every single person recommended, suggested I go speak with Sam. And I had some other issues that previous companies like, you know, Star offering me equity at OKCoin. Of course, I was young and I was white and like working a Chinese company. I'm not going to get it. Bitfinex, similar story, but then Bitfinex got hacked. So like, again, you know, that kind of sucks, but like, all right, whatever. B2C, I was the first employee. I barely got any equity. So I was like, all right, you know, then the next place I want to go, I want to make sure that I really look into who I'm doing it with and make sure that it's somebody I can trust. And not a single person had anything bad to say about Sam. And I talked to a lot of people. So, you know, when they're saying that he's crushing it on the trading side, I've experienced it myself on the OTC desk at B2C2, how tight they're able to quote their spreads. Like, yeah, you know, add it up.
So Zach has just tweeted that multiple former FTX employees confirmed to me they do not recognize the transfers for $383 million. And one guy that previously worked at FTX has also said that to me on Telegram. I don't know how reliable people that previously worked at FTX info is about what's currently happening. But on the address, nothing else has happened for about 15 minutes. So let's just keep monitoring it, and I'll interrupt if anything again interesting happens.
Can I hop on a call real quick?
Can you
hop on a
join
call?
a phone call?
But I just want to call for like.
Yeah, but you, like,
there's a threat of a hack happening.
Yeah, everyone will be able to hear, but unless you mute your microphone.
Yeah, mute your mic.
Yeah, no, I would. I'm gonna mute. But
Mute
if there is a hack of a microphone or hack of our wallets, I'd like to know that. So
yeah,
just give me a second.
mute yourself, and Cobie and I will question what in the world is going on.
Let's have a look at chat. Chat seems slightly below average intelligence today, and normally the average is quite bad. But apparently there's a new address receiving funds from FTX. Can someone post the new address in to the chat, please, so that we can new wallet. No, fuck, it's going too fast. New wallet there.
In terms of what we're trying to accomplish here, y'all, it's purely like just trying to understand what in the world is going on, right? Like not in this exact moment, just but by talking to Zane in general, almost nobody is able to proffer like what happened 2 days ago. You know, like what's going on from a employee's perspective, former employee's perspective. And he was there, so we're gonna listen. That's all it's about.
So there's another address, but it's only doesn't have a ton of money on it yet. But it is just withdrawing loads of weird stuff from FTX. Like,
you'd think if there was if it was a bankruptcy proceeding, you would start with like, "Hello, we are consolidating assets." Yeah, like you say something. Mr. Enron, who's in there now, is he in the Bahamas? Zane, do you know if that guy's there? The supposed new CEO.
No fucking clue.
Somebody in the chat's asking.
So are we getting hacked? What's going on?
Didn't answer my call.
All right. What is Fu? Whatever he's called, Fubar or whatever. What he's normally got tweets on the occasion. OX Fubar. Is he saying any shit? No, just what we already know. So, loads of funds leaving FTX wallets, swapping Tether to DAI, moving everything into one wallet. I guess you swap. Like if you're a hacker, you swap Tether for DAI because it's more sensor resistant. Because if you have Tether can lock a particular wallet or a particular, so if you have some funds on your address, Tether can lock that address. Whereas for DAI, I guess the underlying pool for all of DAI would have to be locked, I think.
So where is this
needing
autism?
A bunch of slippage on their trades.
I mean, is there a tweet from FTX yet? I
I don't
fear
think
that I know
so.
the answer. 47 minutes ago, which group companies have not commenced?
It's clarity on who was or was not declaring bankruptcy.
Right.
I can.
All right, I guess we just keep waiting. If Fuba or Zach, if anything else, please send me a DM because apparently 100 million of FTT just got transferred from FTX to an unknown wallet as well. And some people saying that if they log into FTX, they have a balance of 0 now.
Oh, so with this is,
FTX or FTX US?
Don't know.
this
I'm
is
just reading
actually this is
Let me
interesting.
try both.
So it says, in addition, while not noted in the earlier release, the following entities were also not included in Chapter 11 proceedings, which is FTX Capital Markets, Embed Financial Technologies, Embed Clearing LLC.
My account's zeroed.
Your FTX US or FTX
.com.
International is zeroed.
In terms of
everyone's saying, well, people are saying both. I'm not sure. I've only seen one FTX US.
All right,
Actually.
I'm gonna make another call because and
something's weird.
put out a statement. Don't let people just go off their worst fears. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The I find it fascinating that Zane doesn't work there anymore, but he's like extraordinarily pissed off about how things are being communicated. Like,
well, this stuff impacts you, man. It impacts your
I know.
reputation and stuff, how people see you. Like,
no, I understand
and
that.
like he has a not an obligation to his previous clients anymore, but he'll feel like he has that reputation.
I completely get that. I just, yeah, I was gonna say the embed component here.
Holy shit!
What?
An extremely large amount of money is now in. So the wallet that had 9 million has got now 153 million in it, but it's mostly FTT and Serum actually, so it's not.
Well, so
maybe these do these wallets line up with the previous definitions of like illiquid, semi-liquid, and liquid?
I don't know.
Are they condensing them into those buckets? It also doesn't make sense why they'd swap to DAI and start dumping stuff though, actually. So
yeah, there's some really weird stuff going on. So Embed not being in the bankruptcy, Embed was an independent like clearing firm. It's basically U.S. regulatory stuff that FTX US acquired after Terra Luna blew up, but before all this. It was in June, and the value of those acquisitions was very high, is what I'm bringing this up for, and it's not included in the bankruptcy stuff. So in terms of like, there's a lot of dancing here in terms of like who's being included in these and who's not. Zane, we can't hear you if you were still on the phone. Yeah, so they're carving out specific entities from these bankruptcy proceedings, and it looks like it in a very strange way.
Well, the FTX Australia one, I read something. It's because Australia does not have like any digital asset custody laws, so they're not legally required to keep assets within the entity or something like that. So I think it's been handled separately. I don't know what FTX Digital Markets is or FTX Express Pay. I guess Ledger X is ring fenced. They said they had all customer funds or something on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to ask Zane about is he said before like Caroline was not FTX, but in these proceedings, obviously Alameda and FTX are all going into bankruptcy together. So I want to ask a little bit about
also FTX US, whereas like their customer funds were supposed to be ring fenced. Now we're seeing customer funds from their hot wallets being consolidated, like with these international funds, which is very strange.
Yeah.
But the US side of things was operating independently in terms of like withdrawal capacity and stuff. And it makes me wonder if there was like a operational budget, like slow drip out of international to make it that gap got closed.
There's a tweet that says, from a former high-level FTX insider, I think this has to be an inside job. There's no way to have this much root access so quickly. There are too many different wallets and products to pull this off at once.
Zane, if you're talking to us, we can't hear you. If you're talking to us, we can't hear you.
I think he's looking for his microphone.
Headphones. Your headphones. FTX shows 0 balances. I don't have Zane muted. Yeah, we still don't know what's going on is the point. I think Zane must be reading some stuff or looking through website stuff.
It just seems way too sloppy to be a liquidator. Like if you look at the 3AC liquidation, how that's sort of played out, right? Like hold on. Someone said, look at the wallet that sent the new wallet money. It's an old Alameda wallet. Can someone send us like a
FTX.com also halted trading 40 minutes ago. So there was still trading occurring on FTX.com, but they halted it 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, but if you look at how the 3AC liquidation stuff happened, it was not as rapid or sloppy as this. Like,
yeah, this is weird.
Tons of slippage is.
All balances have been zeroed on FTX International. I'm not sure if you're trying to talk to us, Zane, but you got to select your mic, or maybe you're talking to somebody else still.
No, I wasn't talking to somebody else.
Okay, now we can hear you. Yeah, so it looks like all FTX.com balances are zeroed from everybody that's talking to me about it.
Who fucking knows?
What a fucking week.
Zane, I have a different related question in terms of like, I guess at some point in the past week, the withdrawals were delayed and there were, started to be these hiccups, started to hint towards there being real problems. But were there other times where there were withdrawal delays? Like, I think.
Sorry to interrupt you, Ledger.
Yeah.
The general counsel has just tweeted. Well, I think it's a general counsel. This is a fake version of the account.
Is it Ryan?
Trolled, perhaps. Yeah, is it _Ryan_Miller?
Okay.
Investigating abnormalities with wallet movements related to consolidation of FTX balances across exchanges. Unclear facts as other movements not clear. We'll share more info as soon as we have it. Is this the real dude? Or
Yeah,
am I getting
it's him.
like,
No, it's him.
I'm not getting poor darted or something.
Nope, it's him.
So who knows, man? The who would have access to these keys?
We can't hear you. You gotta pull the headphones up.
I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on with the movement of funds. I just went downstairs and asked our other employees. They had no idea. One of them looked on social media and said that she was seeing a rumor of funds being stolen. Maybe there's more information on Slack, actually. I can't go, I don't know.
Do you know how many people have access to systems even still? Like, are people who are still there who are...
No idea.
What about when you left? Like, were there 10 people working on this?
Why isn't this tweeted from FTX official yet?
Does Ryan still work there? Like he's in... Okay.
I mean, what the fuck? I mean, if this is actually a hack, right? if someone's stealing these funds.
Okay, then I mean, if this is actually a hack, then maybe that does explain the $10 billion hole. Everybody's wondering how the fuck it got so big, and it's just because we've been getting hacked the whole time and nobody knew. I mean, because if they have the private keys now, how would they not have the private keys before? If we're using freshly made private keys, how the fuck would they get access to that?
If it's an inside job, surely it's like a like you've turned a bad situation into like life in jail if this is an inside job, right? Surely.
Yes.
I have no idea what the penalty is for anything like that, but like, fucking hell, talk about kicking people while they're down. If somebody did that, Jesus, you could not be any worse. Steal like, we have $10 million hole, and then all of a sudden, actually, we're stealing more from that as we try to return it. I don't know. I have zero. There's no way in hell, in my opinion, this is an inside hack, because one, the amount of scrutiny that would already be upon you, you'd have to be the dumbest person in the world to try to steal more right now. Like, you're already going to be put under a microscope for the fuck up that just happened. You have the balls to go try and do more. If somebody,
I'm Zane. I'm saying this from what comes top of my mind, but wouldn't the only people that have that potential to do it without that extra scrutiny be Sam directly with, like,
how would he is under the most scrutiny? Would he not be?
Yeah, but if like maybe his logic is like, well, I'm fucked, I may as well go on the run with some money. Like, for him, it maybe it's all over anyway, and this is, I don't know.
Yeah, but like,
surely he's also not thinking straight.
I think Sam in general is like more than thinking 5 minutes ahead, and that that'll get you to the airport in Bahamas. It's not going to get you. You're on an island. Where are you going to go?
I mean, maybe it's a dark theory, but are the people that have access to the private keys physically safe? Because if you were a person that had funds, your net worth stuck in FTX, and you thought you weren't going to get it back, and the Bahamas is not a short flight,
right near here, been surprised how much I've been kept in the dark so far. So like, maybe that's the case, but like, I can't imagine that would be it. And there's also security at the entrance to the, I don't know what the fuck you call it, complex, the community, and like, they wouldn't let me in the other night. I had to get an email from Ryan to let me in. So like, I doubt that's the case. Wow. So you know how it's like 80%? Maybe we can probably bump that up to like 85% or something.
Who knows, man?
Another FTX employee.
No, maybe that's the problem.
Sorry, what were you saying, Ledger?
Another FTX employee messaged me that they had reported the hack and nobody knows what's going on. I think this person's still technically employed there. So if they have internal access, maybe they don't know what's going on internally as well. It may be external actors. I can't comprehend how this happens outside of key personnel. How does the whole exist? Some form of inner circle that has pulled the wool over team members' eyes. Maybe they did it by accident at first and then it got worse. I don't know. I cannot see any other option.
The amount of scrutiny they are currently under, like,
but they're. I mean, it's clear they don't give a shit about that. Yeah. He went to Congress to like lie to the face of senators. So
unless he did not know the hole existed, then he already had this complex that was unexplainable to a normal human being, because he was saying we need regulation, and then also saying, like, knowing that they had this hole of customer funds. So somehow like he doesn't know, no one knows, or I don't know, like you know what I'm saying?
Are you fucking with me at this point? Like,
Are we?
no, like whoever this is, they're just following me around and like torturing me with this shit. I mean, do we have any tweets on the size?
I mean, it's hundreds of millions, so who cares?
Half a billion-ish.
Wait, 500 million?
Yeah.
So
Basically probably all
yeah,
remaining crypto assets, right?
what was it when I tweeted? It was an
900 million?
890 million. Yeah, 890 million in liquid assets, 500 million bringing it down to 390 out of
Would it be
9 billion in liabilities.
as
3%.
another question, is it possible that FTX.com, like servers, backups, things like that, are being erased, and FTX.com balances going to zero reduces the audit trail internally? Would an outsider
The way that I understand most exchanges systems work is that, or like most databases that would handle that work, because you can't delete anything. You can only overwrite it with like a new entry. You can only update it. And so,
again, unless you have all the control.
right, but then that would just implicate you 100%, and so then there's no doubt that it's you.
Or you claim some form of ignorance. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, either it's the most thorough external cleaning you can possibly imagine, or it's absolute key man fraud.
Mine.
Salsa Tequila said something that is just, I'm going to just repeat it because it makes sense. Don't visit FTX. Don't open the app. Don't update it. Like if there's any sort of malware, phishing stuff, anything like that, don't log in. Just be very cautious.
I'm hearing that there's not more information shared elsewhere internally either.
How does this keep getting worse?
I mean, it's impressive at this point.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense for a hacker. A hacker just cares about the money. Someone has control of internal systems and keys. Funds are moving, and data internally is moving. Data is being erased. This feels to me like a digital version of shredding all the shit before you leave. Like,
yeah,
I cannot comprehend any other outcome other than Sam or someone who has like control of his actions is forcing this, who has key control of the entire application. I see no other outcome.
I mean, like, why wouldn't that same scenario apply to a hacker? And like, I think that maybe your assumption of the zeroing balances out is incorrect. Considering the other problem we have, this is kind of a silly statement, but maybe there's some reconciliation between balances that are held in the wallets and the balances that are displayed on the site. How would that lead to a $10 billion hole not being discovered on the other hand? I don't know. But
another wallet. There's another wallet with about 134 million in it. It's mostly Boba token. Don't know what the fuck that is. Serum, Tether Gold, Euro Tether, Matic and stuff, and it all is being withdrawn right now. So like 2 min, 1 min, 1 min, 50 seconds, 30 seconds, 10 seconds ago.
So they did.
Although this. Okay, no, maybe not.
Chat suspecting it's the government. I would believe I'd believe anything at the moment.
Who did I piss off?
Man, I can't speak for anyone else, but I feel like you've just picked up a raw deal. My gut, at least. I have no personal concern for your innocence.
The tweet we put out, where they put out, it's only done once I provided the wording. How the fuck is there this little communication?
Zane, I'm not. Literally everything points to Sam or key actor.
It's got to be a
There's
internal
still
rogue
nothing
actor,
from
right?
FTX official. How have they not put out a statement from FTX official?
Apparently, I'm gonna look it up before I say what.
Hold on. The one account that we put it out on has
Like 2,000 followers.
4,100 followers.
Yeah.
And we have another account with 760,000 followers, silent. We have another account, 969,000 followers, Sam, silent.
Avi Eisenberg on Twitter is claiming credit.
I think he's joking, right?
I hope he's not.
Well, because you would prefer it to be an external actor?
To know?
No, because then we know who it is, and I'd hope that he could even return it. But like, I'd much rather prefer a known than an unknown, and then at least you have some kind of chance.
He surely was trolling. He repeated Sam.
Listen, normally I will opt for favoring entertainment. However, I wonder how fair it is to keep Zane on this episode while this happens and he has a meltdown. Not that you're having a
Zane,
proper meltdown, but it's not.
Yes, I agree. We should let Zane have time. I also just want to say, for the 99% or more of FTX employees, that there could have been some degree of oversight or ignorance or wishful thinking or whatever, but I believe that the vast majority of participants at FTX are and were innocent through this, and I hope that y'all will be encouraged that this is not your fault, right? Like you deserved better. Someone failed you. External actors, internal actors at a bare ass minimum in their response, but probably all along this whole could not have been created and held secret without someone knowing. They failed you, but you did not fail in your job. Like you need to look at this in a way that you can learn and that you can carry forward. Don't lose your hope. Don't lose your cool. Carry on. There is a new day. You are not to blame. You are a victim, and you're a bigger victim than many. I know most of you lost your net worth or a significant portion of it. Feel like you have this reputational loss, and you don't deserve that.
All right, Ledger, do you want to stay on for a little bit? Let Zane go.
Yeah.
So, guys, I appreciate you kind of trying to be nice. I don't have access to Slack. I don't have access to our Twitter. There's nothing I can do. Anyways, let me hop. I don't know if you guys want to do this again. I'm happy.
You need some rest, man. You hadn't slept.
That leads to another fucking hack. Oh.
Yeah, you'll have the perfect alibi once again. No one's ever going to suspect you now.
All right, thanks, guys.
Peace, dude.
Thanks for being with us.
What the fuck, man?
I don't know. Sorry, I got everything screwed up again. Naturally. chat was a combination of calling me an idiot and saying I was saying the right thing there, but just what was on my mind. I'm sorry if you don't like it. I don't care. Have you ever experienced something anywhere near this insane in crypto?
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, someone is saying there are some ENS domains like saying fuck SBF and fuck FTX. Were they added after the hack was known about, or were they before?
I don't know, man.
Wasn't Mt. Gox this bad? Mt. Gox was kind of felt a little bit similar in a way, but the scale of it somehow simultaneously felt bigger and smaller, right? It was bigger because it was a larger percentage of the entire market, but smaller because the numbers were not so insane, right? So like it wasn't a $10 billion hole. Sorry, I need to cough a little bit.
You're good.
Yeah, so it wasn't a $10 billion hole, but it was more of a percentage of the entire market. And it played out a lot slower. Like there was rumors for longer, and there was speculation for longer, and and shit like that. So I guess it felt similar, but it took longer to kick in, whereas this is just all played out in a week and just seems to be like just getting worse and worse and worse and worse, whereas Gox was just like one bad outcome and it was taking a long time for it to be revealed. A lot of people are saying it's an FTX employee that's apparently identified as the hacker. Is that true, or am I getting trolled again? I can
It's so easy.
Never really know. Yeah, Nomad said Gox had more uncertainty, so it was like I remember there was, people were trading FTX balances the other day for like 10 cents on the dollar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was somebody inside doing that.
Yeah, well, it was potentially through this Bahamian withdrawal loophole, and you could buy or sell an NFT to get it moved across or something. But like people did that on Mt. Gox, but it lasted for much longer, and someone set up a website where you could, like, it used the Gox APIs to trade what were called Gox coins at the time, which is the equivalent of like a FTX insolvent balance. And someone had the time to build that website. It had like fucking deposit and withdrawal and all that shit, and people used it for a long time. Whereas that lasted one day for this one. It was just FTX is potentially insolvent. Binance is going to sell their FTT. Binance is buying FTX. Binance is pulling out. We're insolvent, bankruptcy, and now
it's so fast.
Within the space of I don't know how many days it's been, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Apparently FTX app is requesting updates, so everyone should delete the app immediately and don't update it. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but honestly, at this point, you can't
don't even risk it. I'm literally deleting it right now.
Yeah. I wonder if people have bank accounts linked to FTX accounts. I guess you can't do anything about it now because
well, a lot of people did.
I wouldn't log into the website anymore.
No, don't do anything. I had hundreds of messages last night and this morning of people with pending ACH withdrawals. Yeah, there's lots of bank accounts attached. There's lots of KYC information. There's all kinds of stuff.
If there is like a root level compromise, I think it's also difficult because now if you get a legitimate email from FTX, like it was from the actual company or set of companies or whatever, who knows if that's actually real as well, right? Like until there's some like clarity on like what the fuck's going on, it's not even clear that you can trust communications from FTX.
No, yeah, I don't think you can trust anything. I don't understand, man. So, okay. You remember BitBoy's been right about the downfall of Sam, and he said earlier today that something else was happening today, and now he's claiming on Twitter that Sam is the one that hacked the remaining assets. Guarantee it's him, he says. He's done this before. See my previous tweet. I don't know what that was about.
Well, listen, BitBoy's probably right. It probably is Sam. I mean,
like I said, Zane, it's the most like he's the one in control. He's the only one that had control.
Although the thing is, if BitBoy knew that something was going to happen tomorrow, he probably should have said that one in advance, rather than saying something's going to happen and just let them do an entire hack. But anyway,
many things.
Like I don't disagree with him on pointing the finger there.
There are a few things. You brought one up the other day that we're speculating, obviously. You brought up, is Sam Chef Nomi? And I think you're joking, and yet at the same time, maybe you weren't. But
well, I said the writing styles are similar, right? They both wrote these apology threads, and they're basically identical threads.
But my point is, if you could have someone verify that level of I don't know what we call psychosis enables everything else. Everything else is on the table if that could possibly be true. Just from a pure perspective. Somebody says Nomi was the CTO of Band. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, the only thing that I think has a potential, like, if this is an outsider, I think it's more likely to be a dude with a wrench than it is to be some crazy root level exploit.
Yeah. Zeroing balances.
But I think it's much more likely to be a insider.
FTX official retweeted Ryan's tweet.
The other thing is, like, I wonder if people's data is still safe.
No, can't be.
Yeah. Which is hilarious because Sam was pushing to KYC DeFi, and the reason you don't want to give these people your KYC is because your KYC just ends up in the hands of fucking the dark web. So that's cool.
Also, Sam's, I mean, not that he would, but why wouldn't he say anything now if he's truly like not in control, not responsible? You know what I mean? Like what?
Well, he's still responsible. Maybe he's not. He's not.
No,
I'm
talking
anymore,
about right this moment.
Yeah. He's not the CEO anymore, for sure, but like a lot of people are following him, looking to figure out. Like no one follows Ryan. People are still wanting to hear what the fuck is going on, and he should still be working to figure it out. There's an article in Reuters that says, asked about the missing funds, Bankman responded, ?
Serious? That's like, you see the article?
Yeah.
I'm at a loss, man. I don't understand. I don't understand how the escalation. a week ago, this was CZ and Sam ego arguing.
Everyone's taking the piss at how I pronounce routers. I guess routers. Is it routers?
Reuters.
Reuters?
Reuters.
Reuters?
Reuters, unless you're British. Reuters.
That's fucked up. Routers. Mate, it's routers. There's a lot more wallets apparently too. Like this one, who fucking knows?
This is multifaceted though, because it's wallet balances, it's app, root level website, it's everything. It's the nuke. It's the shred the paper at the end of the movie and blow the building up.
Yeah.
Hold on. BlockFi's bank just suspended activity on their credit card. I don't know what that means. How can this how can this happen with an entity that gets that big?
Well, I guess in your if like employees really did not know, and it's a startup, right? And they always bragged about having 10 engineers or something,
Yeah,
or 20 engineers. So I don't imagine there were a lot of systems in place. Like, I used to work at a startup bank, and went from a handful of employees to thousands of employees, and after a certain point, there was such strict internal tooling in place that people didn't have like permissions to do shit. You couldn't look at other people's accounts. You couldn't, do whatever, unless you were specifically required to work on that stuff. I doubt that was in place for a team of 20 at a crypto startup. So I guess, and if you keep your employees in the dark about this shit, and then Zane lost 8 figures, right, of his own money or something, or did he say negative? He worked for negative 8 figures because he lost all his own money, he lost his FTX equity and the stuff he bought and all that shit. So if you have a lot of people in the company that feel betrayed by you, perhaps it is possible that one of them just goes, I think I've got access to say fuck you in return. But I don't know. Apparently there's a forced update on the FTX product, so don't
get rid
install
of it.
Just make sure I'm repeatedly saying that. Who knows?
This sounds insane, but we know state level actors do stuff with crypto, hack stuff with crypto. This was a target. This would have been a logical target for a state level actor. Like outside of the U.S., inside of the U.S., it would be more extraordinary. Outside of the U.S., it's more mundane, but.
Yeah.
Russia, North Korea, whatever. Pick your enemy.
Well, let's say CIA.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Inside, more like. I'm not gonna say that.
As an American.
As an American.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah. I would rank inside job number 1, like vengeance inside job number 1. I would say wrench attack on people with keys number 2.
Wrench attack
like people,
being like physical.
yeah,
physical danger.
like everyone know, like the address somewhere that got leaked. The FTX offices, obviously, people know where they are. Like someone that has lost their entire life savings, and potentially someone that lost money that they borrowed and now owes other people and nothing to lose, could just pop over to the Bahamas and go, I want my money back. Who knows? And yeah, maybe state, who knows? I mean, everyone's saying this shit about a dude called Gary Wang. I haven't properly read that theory. What's the
Gary's the CTO of Alameda, originally moved to FTX. He's a key man.
Well, the CTO would probably have root access to everything, wouldn't they?
Yeah, so I've heard from FTX employees that Gary had the most significant like bust factor at the company. I presume next to, or maybe even in addition to, Sam.
Yeah.
Like wallet control, whatever. I can't keep up with chat, but
no, me neither.
There's the Alameda deck that went around, and it has the employees in it, the key people employees. Here it is.
Can you explain bus factor to chat? Everyone's saying, why does Ledger keep saying bus factor? Is it something to do with bussing?
It's not something to do with bussing. Bus factor is where one person is so pivotal that if they get hit by a bus, then it's over. That they're so critical to the operation that the operation cannot continue.
If you're this hacker, right, or insider or state actor or whatever, if you're the person that has got this FTX money now, how much? Oh wow, how crazy is that? Is Andy Krogan still there?
I don't know. I don't know who Andy Krogan is, but Gary and Nishad. So the inner circle of sorts: Sam, Gary, Andy. I'm sorry, Sam, Gary, Nishad, Caroline. Caroline stayed at Alameda, of course, but the other three went to FTX.
Yeah. Anyway, back to my question. If you're the person that has these funds now, whether you were the insider or the whatever, how much of this do you think you can actually get? Like, this is probably the most all eyes on crypto event in history.
It doesn't seem the financial gain can't be your point.
Well, I mean, in some way, it sort of must be, because they're dumping everything for
why would they do
Ethereum.
That? Yeah, that's true.
So, like, they're clearly thinking about it and they've swapped Tether to DAI and stuff for a little bit of sensor resistance.
I have two outcomes, both are absurd.
But surely they can't expect to get, the dude that hacked Silk Road got caught finally and never used any of the money. He got caught after 10 years.
Yeah.
The guy that, the pair that allegedly hacked Bitfinex, virtually never,
never spent any.
Yeah. So like, maybe if you rug like a Dex or something, or like, the Anubis. Do you remember the Anubis thing with Beerus and someone nicked 60 million or whatever? Like, maybe that person can get the funds out because the amount is much smaller and there's less eyes on the thing, and it's easier to go under the radar. Loads of other shit's happening. But this is like every regulator and law enforcement entity in the world is going to be watching these wallets forever.
Is 300 million small enough to mix? Like in a, you know what I mean? Like if you get it all to ETH or something, can you mix it? Can you
I don't
tornado
know, man. Like, I don't have a lot of experience with money laundering large amounts of Ethereum, thankfully. But
he only said large amounts.
But if, like, since the tornado sanctions, I imagine the tornado volume must have dropped like 90% or something. Yeah. So it's made it much less useful a tool for money launderers, perhaps. And even if you manage to wash the Ethereum, right, you still have to turn it and put it into a bank account somewhere. So how do you explain where you got your $300 million from? Like, maybe you go to a jurisdiction.
Inside job, state actor with an insider.
Yeah.
It feels very both. I mean, I'm peak conspiracy at the moment. So
someone said, "Why are we sure? Why are we sure it's not a liquidator?" We're not totally sure it's not a liquidator, but the general counsel of FTX US said they're unidentified transactions, and everyone's balances got zeroed out, and they're doing weird shit like swapping to DAI, dumping stuff,
updating the app,
dumping stuff for really, really poor slippage. So like, I think liquidators are supposed to get the best execution possible. Maybe you can say they're incompetent, but it would just seem surprising that on day 2 of the liquidation, on a Saturday, they just start using 1 inch to market sell. I'm
being told that state actors could accomplish mixing with this amount of money. They do it with more and on other chains, I guess.
Bro, if state actor wanted to do it, wouldn't they just call? They just go, don't just leave this one alone. Don't they have God mode on the laws?
Well, on the laws, I was about to say, if it's on the internet, then they're using it right now.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know, dude.
What are your thoughts on?
Do you think CZ is like, man, maybe I shouldn't have. Like, do you think he sees it as a like a very Pyrrhic victory?
I feel like CZ would, as much of a kind of ruthless businessman he can be with a competitor. I really do feel like he there's some part of him that just really cares about the ecosystem, customers, whatever, in a way where this is much too far for them.
Yeah, I also think that he's seen so many blowups, right? He's been through every single one longer than I have, and he's seen it recover. And for schemes like this, they don't sort themselves out, right? Like, they just get bigger. So if he hadn't done it, this might have become an even bigger problem in the future. So I'm sure he's pissed off because of the damage to the industry, but like, I reckon he wishes he did it earlier rather than not doing it at all.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I was trying to get to. If this was inevitable, then might as well get it over with, type of thing. But it's so fast. Like, if it's going to be these things happening this fast have such a gigantic impact on the ecosystem.
Yeah.
What do you think about Trabucco? Was he just like unfortunately timed or new and got booted on the way out? Incompetent. He wasn't part of the early team, and then convenient leaving time. There's so many questions.
Oh, you should probably delete the Blockfolio app as well. I just
I think
thought of that.
I think it's just the FTX app now.
Oh yeah, it became the FTX Basic, didn't it?
Yeah.
I just searched for it. I don't have it, so. Hold on, Zach XBT is messaging me. He says the Tornado anonymity set is too small for that much money. Sorry, what did you say before? I got distracted by Zach.
What's going on with Trabucco and all this? Like one tweet.
Oh yeah, shit. So isn't he Sam's childhood best friend, SBF's childhood best friend or something?
Yeah, I believe so.
Hmm.
But he wasn't part of Alameda until later.
Yeah, I mean, his claim is that he left in April, and like officially left in was it June or August-ish when he made the statement. But his claim is that like he stopped doing any work in April. Someone sent me like their DMs with him asking him about it, and this was his explanation. So I think he exists in this weird, like, sort of, if you suspend disbelief a little bit, this like period of plausible deniability that I think is really, 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 really difficult to believe. But I can't say 100% that he knew, right? Like, you could say it's maybe 95% that he knew, or 90% that he knew, or something.
Or did he suspect and didn't even admit it to himself? You know, like there's a range of
or suspected and quit and didn't tip off, which is, you know, maybe
bad.
as bad as well. I don't know. And he got out a weird time where you can say it goes either way, but due to the scale of the fraud, you lean towards having to know. He was the co-CEO of Alameda. Surely they weren't just like making money hand over fist until April. He left to buy a boat, and then suddenly they just lost everything.
Yeah, something
in the space of a few months. And then he didn't check the books before he left in August, and he's still an advisor there.
Well, there was also other times of pain. March 2020, I had a message saying that there were withdrawal delays in with the COVID crash. Close to when we had Trabucco on, May or June 2021, huge crash. Like, if there was a hole created, it could have been created in one of those moments. Like, could this, like, oh, it's innocent now and we made it up, but then again, you're creating the optionality. Who knows? And this is just speculation, but I want to wish the best for people, but somebody here is a bad actor, somebody. And a lot of people are messaging us like, don't call it a hack. All you're doing is making it easier for SBF or others. We said from the outset throughout with Zane on, and since then, like, this makes the most sense if it's inside. Makes the most sense if key people are doing some form of cover hack run thing. But this is an exceptional situation where we do not know the facts. We just do not. Oh God, did the people come out?
A beeple? Oh, I don't want to look at it. It's going to be like a goblin looking fucking SBF with his dick out or something. Do you remember when he used to make these like sort of like ethereal, beautiful things, and then he just started doing fucking dicks on top of dicks? Like photorealistic dicks and stuff?
Yeah. It's not so bad. Oops. I better move myself.
Okay, fine. He's just posted a photograph of Sam.
Yeah.
I mean,
does anything surprise you in crypto anymore?
I mean, I'm surprised by this. I was surprised that FTX was insolvent. I was surprised that SBF would go just egregiously lie to people. I'll be surprised if Sam Trabs didn't know. Like, so yeah. Although I do think that the 5 years ago version of me wouldn't have been surprised. I was much more like paranoid and skeptical and less trusting. And then I guess as my optimism and like belief in the industry grew, I thought there were people that were more aligned with how I see stuff, I guess. I don't know. Which I think there are actually, but I just think that they're you know, like Kraken, for example, and J Pow and stuff. I think they're very aligned. But they just, yeah. This is by far the most insane saga that I've been through. But I also, again, like, I've been surprised by it and caught off guard by it. So maybe it feels more insane, whereas Gox and everything else, I was kind of like, that, sure, obviously this happens, that makes sense to me. So they didn't feel so insane perhaps, but then maybe they'd for other people.
I know this is one type of insanity, but there's another story today about it's just like the echoes of previous insanity. So it's that 20% of crypto.com's customer funds are just Shiba Inu. Like 20% of people, that's what they did. They were like, you know what? I'm not missing the next Doge. I'm buying Shiba Inu. And then they held it until November of 2022. And that's still 20% of crypto.com's customer funds is Shiba Inu. That's what their intro to crypto was.
So someone has just tweeted the dude from I always think he's a meme account because he's called Doge Toshi or Doge Toshi or whatever, but he's actually just like the director of research at the block.
Yeah.
He's tweeted that Wallet 2 moving more funds so there's a Multi-Sig somewhere.
Moving to the
wait, so sorry. There's the hackers have set up, or exploiters have sent up a Multi-Sig. Okay, so it looks like there's a Multi-Sig of all the stolen funds.
Mm-hmm.
So this person's thesis is whoever has access is multiple people that have access to this stuff and they don't trust each other. But why would they pool it then?
Well, they had to work together.
All right, so it's now a Bonnie and Clyde story. Caroline and Sam have set up a Multi-Sig. They know that they can't get the funds unless they have each other.
Do you know how heavy this regulatory hammer is going to be? We are so screwed.
Yeah, it's like the hammer of Thor. Fucking hell, dude. This Multi-Sig arc is kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
That's strange.
They take their security seriously. I don't know. Zach's tweet. New Zach. Welcome to Cobie and Ledger retweets.
In the FTX Telegram, the dude that was the guy that I introduced to Zach, who was Zach's original source for this potentially being a hack, has posted FTX has been hacked. All funds seem to be gone. FTX apps are malware. Delete them. Chat is open. Don't go to the FTX site. It might download Trojans. DB tweeted FTX say they were officially hacked. So if they're saying they're hacked, it's either inside job or hack, right?
Yeah. Well, the options that we mentioned are still the ones on the table. Inside job, hack, state actor.
Yeah.
Somebody's surprised FTT is dipping under $2. It should be 0 cents. It's like you dump out the milk carton, it takes a while to empty, but it's definitely going to empty.
So this Ray dude, who is the official FTX statement, I've been chatting to a little bit. He's the dude that withdrew his funds and then sent them back. He was called like El Memento or something.
Okay.
And when withdrawals started going through, he was the one that like withdrew it and sent it back. And I don't know how reliable a source he is, to be honest. But he was the one that first speculated that this was a hack and told me and Zach, and sent us some links to send to Paolo, and we connected him to Paolo and Binance.
I don't think
I might try and boot up a clean machine. I've got a brand new clean laptop somewhere that I might try and boot up and connect to ftx.com and see what's going on.
All right.
Give me a sec to go find it.
Yeah, you're fine. This person, I don't think they'll care if I say this. Taylor from MetaMask now said, I've looked at a magnificent amount of hacks and never once seen the hacker set up a multi-sig. Never once. It's just like just a new Ocean's 11 iteration. You know, I told my wife this would probably be about 2 hours. If she's still awake when I get upstairs, she's going to be like, hey, how'd it go? Oh, you know, it's fine. Good night. This live hack. We live in the dumbest timeline. The chat is upset that your clean laptop, your clean computer is a $2,000 MacBook. And he's got two.
I don't know how to use Windows. It's not even the right laptop.
Oh, I can't keep up. I'm sorry. DM us tips. DM us tips. All right, Taylor says it has vibes like lulsec, or Anonymous, rescuing the funds or something.
Maybe lulsec. What didn't that?
They're one of the hacker groups. Like they think it's funny. I can't read your name, Avi.
Address 2 and the Multi-Sig might be FTX putting some funds safe, and the first address could be the hacker. Because
so they see it happening, so they start moving more.
Exactly right. Like the first address could be the hacker or the inside job person. I'm just going to keep saying hacker, even if it's an inside job person. I mean,
inside job,
yeah.
Also a hacker.
The thief. Who knows?
The thief.
We
gotta name him.
And the other addresses could be FTX, like cycling out the wallets and setting up a multi-sig for them. That could make sense to me.
I'm gonna say some names that are even worse than Token Talk. What about Friday Night Lights Out? Is that bad? You don't even know that.
Wait, are we renaming the show?
No, I'm naming the hack.
Oh.
All right, give me name ideas.
Maybe we should rename the show, but also change the
maybe
topic.
Maybe we should just stop so that the market could bottom. Are we cursed?
Well, I mean, the hack did begin as soon as we went on.
Literally as soon as.
Within the moment we pressed live.
Yeah.
Maybe it's you. It's a good cover up, good alibi. Oh, I was just streaming.
FedTX. Funds on TRX moving. Is that right? Yes. All right. Apparently going multi-chain here. If any of y'all work for centralized bridges, maybe keep an eye out. There's more moving. Multi-sig being white hat makes sense. Someone says, I think that makes sense as well.
Bro, didn't they host like a really big party in the Bahamas not long ago with like Katy Perry there?
Dude. Now she's cursed. She's
Katy
got pictures.
Perry took down FTX.
Katy, yeah. And the 2017 cycle just with her nails.
How much TRX has moved? Oh, $20 million of TRX has moved.
Y'all, please tag us on stuff that's relevant. Justin is behind it. Don't think so. Maybe.
Everyone went to that Bahamas thing, and I was pissed off that I didn't get an invite. I was like,
You wouldn't have
how
gone.
come no, I wouldn't have gone. But it's like, why am I not getting invited? You know what I mean? I would definitely not have gone because I don't go to anything in real life. But I still want the invite. We still got to do the ceremonial, like, do you want to come? Because we'd like you to be there. And then I can say no. Yeah, never mind. Maybe I avoided getting the Katy Perry curse.
Do you think we're going to get another Sam thread tonight?
I don't know, dude. I like how he said we're going to improve comms and then literally didn't say anything else since.
The Enron temporary CEO is the CEO of FTX right now.
Yeah.
Roy or Ron or something.
Did you see that Enron's trading platform had the same tagline as FTX, like built by traders for traders?
Shut up.
Yeah.
Well, they had an oil trading thing.
Who knows? I just saw a screenshot of it and repeated it as fact, even though it could have been a totally fake thing that was made up.
Yeah, I didn't.
Apparently, one of the 3 signers for the multi-sig contract was funded by Binance.
CZ.
Well, I mean, like not like funded by the company,
yeah, but
like,
on the exchange. CZ, go check out those wallets.
Yeah.
I wonder if that one's white hat.
the dude who I said is maybe not a reliable source just said, how can I not be a reliable source? I'm literally in this group pulling real-time developments. And they spammed my name and posted Pepe's at me. I mean, look, dude, I don't know what's going on. And I don't know who to trust, so
we'll just read it off.
Zach, can you send this to Binance?
Can somebody know who's smart come on the show?
Do we know smart people? Mate, we're in the crypto industry.
Oh, good. We're tracking private jets again.
Yeah, I just saw that as well. People are on flight radar or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Going, look at this private jet leaving the Bahamas.
Shouldn't that happen frequently?
Well,
It's the Bahamas. There's got to be a lot of private jets there. I don't think we want Zach to join the show. We need to protect Zach.
I had a video call with him once, and he's got like a fucking visual filter and a voice changer.
Wow.
Yeah. Bro, all my mentions now are just like my name being tagged, and I don't know actually what it is. What's this?
Are we going to publish this show?
I mean, why not, man? Our content quality is incredibly low. We published the one. We published the one with the like actual fraudsters on it.
That's true.
So why not? I realized that the reason I wanted Do Kwon to come on was because I was like, shit, Do Kwon is the person that caused all of this.
Yeah. He had no
But then when he
sympathy.
turned up, I was so stunned that he actually just fucking came on the podcast while like literally an international fugitive that I completely mind blanked and didn't know what to say to him and just asked him if he was fine with how he conducted himself.
Yeah.
I went to be like, bro, you like melt, because you remember like he said if at this point if Luna dies, the entirety of crypto dies or something. Well, maybe he wasn't joking.
Do we want Doge Toshi to come on? The
The
block guy?
Sure.
Sure. To the person that DM'd me that. All right. Almost all hacker wallets are funded by phished exchange accounts. Most hacks end up going through FTX, Binance, and Huobi, OKX, etc. At the end of the day, it's another round of mixing or cashing out. Always fake KYC data. Lots of exchanges have had their KYC databases wrecked. Very cool. Great. That was Taylor, who's the best chain sleuth.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Or I was talking into...
Taylor from MetaMask was saying that hackers' wallets are almost always funded from phished exchange accounts.
Yeah.
So the Binance thing's not that relevant.
Yeah, of course, but like, it's something, you know.
It is something. How do you fake KYC? Ask the chat.
Just ask Algod.
Here's a good theme. Who is Snowden? Somebody in the chat said it. What if it was Zach XBT? It's a pretty good one.
What if Zach XBT is actually Sam?
I doubt that. But Snowden, I could believe. Zach is apparently doxed to people. Somebody said Snowden is Ari Paul. Oh, man. Caroline deleted her Twitter.
Oh shit! Really? It still left me.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, person that tagged it. I read before checking.
If you go onto Caroline's account and you just look at all the recent likes, it's just all me.
She still loves you.
It's all me.
Her last activity on Twitter.com is
Bro,
she's
maybe I could have
simping
got
for
invited to
Cobie.
the orgies.
And Sam's going to be jealous about it in their retirement.
Man, what a fucking stupid industry.
Ask Caroline to come on. So naming rights for the Miami Heat arena are available. What do you think?
So do they sell the rights, or do they just terminate it and FTX doesn't have to pay the rest, or like how does that work? Because I also saw they were taking off the Mercedes car as well.
Well, they obviously can't pay the rest, so good try, Twitter. I will not read all of the things that you tag me in.
Oh, I will. Just tag me in them. I'll read them. Has TSM, someone just texted me saying TSM still has FTX on its Twitter username.
You know, there's a part of me that just wants to picture Sam and Caroline on a speedboat in the Caribbean, leaving the Bahamas right now with their duffel bags. I want them to get caught, but I also want to picture
like a police car chase, like a police chasing a Toyota Corolla, leaving the FTX office, and I was watching it going, is this real? But then the car drove into a lamppost, and then the video started again. So, looks like it's not. Private jet leaving the Bahamas. Okay, yeah. It's in that one.
Another transaction from the original account. There's some crazy stuff going on right now, man.
Yeah.
People need to stay safe out there. Delete FTX apps.
Do you think that the most successful reenactment of the events that we're currently living through will be presented in the form of a movie or a TV show? Is it going to be like the Big Short, or is it going to be like the Theranos and WeWork,
Movies,
like docu-series type things?
Movies don't make any money anymore, do they? The series are always more successful, and you got multiple seasons with our disasters. It's just trying to pick what are your finales every season. I mean, you can go for 5 or 6 years worth. Definitely series. Yeah. Did we talk about it on the last show about Michael Lewis writing a book about Sam?
Yeah, I mean, that book's going to be good. That's good now because he's got himself an ending, and that might be the movie.
You know what would be good is actually to do it The Wire style. So every season has an arc, but you have some core characters with a batch of new characters. And it's like each cycle or something.
Who do you reckon is going to play Caroline? Who will play Sam? Who will play Sam Trab? And who will play Kyle from Multicoin? Who will play Su Zhu? Who will play Do Kwon? What's the cast?
There's a lot of questions, and I don't know actors' names very well, but the one when someone brought up Jonah Hill for Sam, it was dead on. Like, too good.
Well, at the start of the season, it's going to be Timothy Chalamet, but halfway through, it'll
Yeah.
swap to Jonah Hill.
I saw you say that, but I don't know who that is.
It's just some dude with curly hair.
Our chat's just gonna name Asian people. Come on, guys.
Do you reckon that you'll get to do a cameo? I reckon you will.
I hope not. Somebody said the girl that played Arya Stark could play Caroline. That was a good one, I think.
Oh yeah, that's a banging call.
Yeah.
Michael Cera as SBF. Who was the dude that played Mark Zuckerberg?
Oh man. Social network. Cast. Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, he'd be a pretty good Sam too.
Yeah.
Who would play Kyle Samani? I like that. I like that question.
I reckon Kyle Samani will say, "Can I play myself?" And they'll go, "Yeah."
All right.
And he'll really dial it up.
Who plays Cobie?
Well, I don't think I'll get to do a cameo because even if the podcast is done, you're the one that reads out the advert. So if there's a cameo, it's going to be you doing like
doing the media.
Yeah. But the person most likely to get an actual cameo, I think, is going to end up being Sam, SBF, if he's out of jail or not on the run. Like in the Wolf of Wall Street movie, the Jordan Belfort was in it at the end. Or someone like Kyle or Su Zhu, or like who really want their like attention and stuff.
Somebody said Jared Leto is Cobie.
He's a little bit old now.
So picky. I was about to say you get the handsome people.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Ledger status.
Yeah. That's me.
All right. Apparently one of the hack wallets has now been labeled as FTX.
So white hat? Well,
I don't know.
Can he call FTX white hat about anything? Maisie Williams, thank you for Loser Leaves, who gave that recommendation as Caroline. Man, she would crush that role. Oh boy.
What?
We've already got... Okay, hold on. Taylor's now just sending me weird KYC stuff. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to read. Oh. North Korean co-conspirators used the exact same photo of the body, but put different photos of the faces when they submitted KYC documents. That's awesome.
Someone just sent me a fucking selfie. Someone that I don't think I've ever spoken to before just randomly texted me on iMessage of all places. They sent me a selfie and they said, "I make a good Sam." I'm not going to show their face, but they would make a pretty decent Sam.
They said, "I'll do it. I volunteer." We started watching the new Crown, and all the characters are just people from Downton Abbey. It's like we just need some British people that have done British people things before. Don't seem to be a lot of candidates for these.
I've never seen The Crown, and I've never seen Downton Abbey.
It's because you're British. Americans watch shows with British people in them, and vice versa. So we're just sitting here waiting to see if there's anything else to say.
Well, I mean, like, if the stream's turned off, I'm gonna be sitting here doing the same thing, just like scrolling through Etherscan and Twitter.
We'll just call this. We'll just call this
and
bonus.
Telegram chats.
We'll call this bonus. We'll end the YouTube version in a bit, but y'all can hang with us. There's 8,000 people that are still finding some form of entertainment out of this. We're just doom scrolling. Yes. I've been doom scrolling for days now.
Zach is sending me some more addresses. Oh, I think they're the White Hat Fund addresses, maybe.
I can't comprehend. I cannot comprehend it.
Do you remember not long ago when the biggest fucking threat to crypto was Ethereum proof of work might get too popular? Because Ethereum work or whatever, ETH-W might do a replay attack if they didn't say it upright. That was the biggest problem in crypto for a little while. That Galios guy, Galios Capital, was saying it was like there was like a 5% chance it would be the main chain, and everyone was moral panicking about it.
Did you convert your ETH-W to ETH?
Instantly, as soon as they gave me it, of course.
Oh, really?
I did the Bitcoin Cash saga.
Did you? I kind of forgot about it.
So you still own it?
I don't know.
Well,
it depends on the venue, right? If you're on chain, you had to go do something yourself, right?
Well, it's the same private key on the other.
Oh, on the other chain. Yeah, then I still got some.
Nice. Worth 0 now, probably.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes for me. I did get some out of FTX, though. Because they did it automatically. Somebody said they miss worrying about Fed hikes. I still worry about Fed hikes.
Can we watch a little Caroline interview to get a few laughs? So I got a conspiracy theory. It's not a big conspiracy theory. It's just a theory, maybe.
Okay.
That Caroline previously did quite a lot of publicity. She did podcasts and
she stopped.
And interviews and stuff. And and then I asked her when she became sole CEO if she would come on the show, obviously, as is my duty.
That's what you do.
And she said no, basically, instantly. Let me go find the DMs. I said, do you ever do a up-only episode? Now you're solo CEO. And she said, thanks. I think I'll pass now. I'm not really into the publicity stuff as Trabucco was. Appreciate it, though. And I said, okay, please don't liquidate me. And she said, okay.
You were on the inside.
Yeah. Well, did she live up to that promise? But if she was doing this stuff previously, and then in late August, decided not to do it, was it because she knew that anything she might say after that would be potentially scrutinized?
Or she was just really bad at it. Like, she said too much on the ones, everything she was on. Like she only did a couple of things, and I mean they're iconic now. I was looking for a dongle. I can keep looking, but I can't do it with headphones on. Or I could try to. It's just so that the chat can, or so that you can hear it. Rather, the chat would be able to hear it. One second. I'll go. Well, y'all know the videos. Just
It looks like somebody has run a clean laptop on FTX.com, and there are attempts to gain user privilege.
have worked.
Well, someone sent me a screenshot, but I don't really know what I'm looking at.
Somebody said link is dumping hard.
So Hacker 1's clear black hat, Hacker 2 is a potential white hat, and Hacker 3 is a multi-sig of possible white hat. And Hacker 1 is the one that just keeps dumping everything. Yeah, they've just dumped all their chain link or something.
We need that.
I know they've dumped a third of their chain link.
We need that person from Paradigm who has like
Sam CZ's son.
Yeah, has all the main characters in their name.
That was foreshadowing. They knew.
They knew. Sam, CZ, that's the arc. That's the order.
I don't have socks on and my feet are so fucking cold.
Here.
I might go put some socks on.
There you go. Fresh pair of socks for you.
If only I had some socks here so I could look like you passed it through the screen.
Yeah. From the sock club. Swag.
All right, so what should we do a podcast about? I'm done with this industry. Let's pick a new one. Can't be sports betting. Gaines has already taken that.
No. And you don't know anything about sports.
I can learn. I don't know anything about crypto either. What about just gardening?
Gardening.
We look like two blokes that would be good at gardening, so
yeah, we got a green thumb.
people like, yeah, that makes sense.
What about like granola kitchen?
Oh, we can
stuff?
just do a show where you try and make me eat foods and I just say they're all bad. Like we cook together.
So,
you give me instructions. I'll cook in my end. I'll set this up in my kitchen. You tell me the ingredients. We'll make it at the same time, and then we'll show the results of what you made and what I made. Me following your instructions, and then we'll eat it. I think this is the greatest idea I've ever had.
What about similar but like with homesteading tips?
Like DIY.
Not more than DIY, like off the grid living type stuff. Have
I
you seen?
don't want to do that.
Have you seen these YouTube videos? They get like millions of views, and somebody's just in the woods for 3 weeks building a hut with a stick that they like pulled out of the ground, and they just make their own tools. Then they make their own hut. It's awesome. I'll learn it, and then I'll teach it to you, and that'll be the show.
Cobie's describing a show that Selena Gomez is already doing. What? She's doing a cooking show with Ledger.
Yes. I'm not a good chef. I don't think I could teach you well.
Well, I'm not going to be able. It doesn't matter if I won't be able to follow the instructions properly anyway.
Primitive technology is the one I'm talking about. Y'all say they all copied primitive technology. I'm just talking about primitive technology. That's the one.
OX Mackie just said the whole office/team is now missing. How can the office be missing?
How could Maki know?
I thought Mackie was working in their office for a while.
I think they all moved to Vancouver.
Because he was working with Layer Zero Oh, that must have been around the Bahamas thing event, mustn't it? The week before that, or after that, or whatever. So he's in Vancouver now. But okay, so how does Nike know? Maybe he's trolling.
I'm asking, are you there?
Trolling? How can an office be missing? Sam even stole the fucking office. He brick by brick.
How insane is it that they just got the keys for their Miami office the day this stuff went down?
It might make sense that the team's not at the office, because if, like, I would not be at the office if I was an FTX team member. Like, it seems like the most dangerous place in the Bahamas to be. I don't know anything about the Bahamas and whether it's got a low level of crime, but I don't think you want to be in there wearing a FTX hoodie, do you?
No.
Someone says the point is if the team's not at the office, it's not official currency movements. Well, they've already said it's not official currency movements, but they have like laptops, right? So it could be insiders still. You don't need to be in the office to do stuff.
Oof. So the one you were talking about earlier, Galois Capital, is that what it's called?
Who knows? Galois.
Galois. Half their capital was on FTX.
Yeah, 100 million stuck. I just saw that too.
They've been asked to evacuate.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? There will be like death threats and shit, you would imagine.
Yeah.
I was getting voice notes from randomers saying that they were going to go to FTX's office now.
Oh, jeez. How's Tom Brady doing? Like,
I don't know him.
Do you think he really put in a lot of his own money? People keep writing it down like they put in $650 million. That was what they're worth. They didn't put every dollar they had into the exchange. Like, I'd almost be surprised they put in any.
Yeah, so apparently everything's been done in apartments and no one's going to the office. Oh my god, fucking hell.
What?
I was just in like a bunch of Telegram groups and I was just like reading stuff that's going on, and I opened one and there's just a gigantic naked photo of Caroline from Alameda. But I mean, it's obviously photoshopped, but it was just like full screen on like my monitor. Fucking hell, dude.
No, we're not sharing it. The chat wants the link. Haven't been able to. Y'all are gross.
Fucking hell.
What kind of contagion do you think is left?
I reckon the next step of the contagion is that Satoshi goes, yeah, look, finally, I've had enough. Nah, not doing this anymore. I thought it was going to get like, people would grow up a little bit. He's going to send everything to Bitfinex. Bitfinex is going to sell for Tether, and then he's going to withdraw Tether. And he's going to sit in Tether forever. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
He
Don't give him ideas.
He just says, fuck this shit. Tether's better than Bitcoin. I'm out. Fuck,
Did you see the 2019 Su Zhu tweet making fun of the FTX ICO.
Yeah, he this may be his best tweet ever, to be honest. Everyone thought it was the will pump off the bottom extremely quickly, leaving sideline investors stuck in fear, but it turns out it was this one.
Kyle was the one that said a few more liquidations than up only.
What?
Was it Kyle that said a few more liquidations than up only?
Yeah, but I didn't talk about that tweet. I mean, those things were him.
It's the way the chat said. Apparently, BitBoy put out a tweet saying, "Don't visit the FTX.com website, but put FTX.com in the tweet, so people would click it and go to it."
Maybe we should ask BitBoy to come on.
Now?
Seemed. This is like the other day when I was drunk and like these people DMing me saying, "Can I come on now?" I was like, "Sure."
The chat wants bit.
And you were just like fucking hell. You're like, I hate all of these guests. Like, look, just because a guest comes on the show does not mean it's an endorsement of the guest. Our job is to bring on people of the moment, and listen to what they've got to say as a hybrid of entertainment and journalism. I don't think we've ever had a single guest that I've liked as a person. I don't even like Ledger that much.
We need to
Apparently, violent crime is extremely common in the Bahamas. Someone just sent me a thing that says, violent crime is extremely common in the Bahamas. The country is ridden with violent crime and armed robberies. Kidnapping and murders are extremely common. That doesn't sound good.
No. We need to put a disclosure at the beginning of the show. It's not financial advice. We do not endorse this guest. We don't even endorse this sponsor. They pay us money.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We could have used
or
that
just
one.
just have no sponsor. I don't want to lend credibility to fucking anyone ever again, unless I'm allowed to like audit their books or something, maybe. But even then, I'll probably fuck that up, won't I? Because I won't know what I'm looking at.
Don't know how to do an audit.
Well, like Multicoin got to audit FTX's books and still lost 20% of assets on FTX. Where they got to audit the books in Q2. So.
Oh
wow. Yeah. When we're ready to sign off, can we close the episode by just running the Matt Damon ad?
Oh jeez. It's a RUN ad.
The what? For like fortune favors the bold thing.
Oh yeah.
I think it was a crypto.com ad, to be honest.
Yeah, it was crypto.com. So one of the hats is, or one of the addresses is apparently confirmed that it's not a hacker. Yeah, 2 addresses are FTX retaking control and sending the remaining coins to a Multi-Sig. This is Cody Hewitt, who I don't know who they are. Oh yeah, the Larry David one's really good with FTX.
That one's really ironic because it's him going around saying that's not going to work, that's not going to work, that's not going to work, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the very last part of the advert is someone going, "You should use FTX," and he goes, "Nah."
This is such a disaster.
Yeah, dude.
Let's see if I can change this. Here's the Su Zhu tweet. These same guys are now trying to launch a BitMEX competitor and do an ICO for it. High returns with no risk. These loans have no downside. 15% annualized fixed rate loans with no lockup. Oops.
I kind of just want to go back to bed, to be honest, dude.
I need to go to bed for the first time. I'm tired. I'm tired of this week. It's been a big week, Barry. The chat still wants Spitboy to come on, but I don't know. Frank's watching. He linked me his article. Frank, I said it was you, man. You reported on that. I gotta share this one. Hold on. Where is it? Where's the buttons? Tracking flight from Bahamas. You see this? Cobie. You see, you're not enjoying it with me. Look at this. I'm getting ignored. He's doing other things. Doesn't hear me. He wants to do a cooking show together. He won't even listen. Thank you, chat. Chat likes it. He's turned off. He's in doom scroll mode. I love this picture so much.
What the fuck am I looking at? Is that Richard Hart with Caroline's head?
Yes, thank you. Finally. It's so good. You know, Richard Hart went like independently viral the other day for carrying like half a dozen designer bags out of a store, and he was so absurd that people just took video of him on the way out. Got a whole bunch of attention on TikTok for it. Yes, I am losing it, I know.
Yeah, I saw that. He was carrying one of the bags in his mouth or something.
Yeah.
I tell you what, everyone having a verified tick on Twitter is really
Sucks.
confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you see that, like the stock price of like some like biotech company dumped because someone faked that they were going to make insulin free?
Yeah, it was Eli Lilly.
Yeah. And then they've added a new verified tag called official. So now there's two. It's so confusing.
It's the same thing. I did the verified tag. I just want to know what it felt like to be you.
Have you got one now?
Yeah, paid $8 for it.
Well, you kind of need one because otherwise it's like the equivalent
You
of
get
being shadow
lost.
banned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the chances that Musk ends up like just falling apart?
Bro, in 2022, what are the chances that he doesn't fall apart?
Yeah.
What are the chances that I don't fall apart? They're very slim. I don't know. Well, I mean, like a lot of people have blue ticks, so a lot of people are paying money. So maybe it sucks a bit, but
Inverse Brother tweeted up only notes. Cobie's looking at Caroline nudes on Telegram.
I opened a Telegram chat, and it was the first thing in the chat.
Yeah,
I think
it wasn't inaccurate.
Supposed to be a serious conversation. discussing the realities of the situation.
Tezeros says, "Where's my sub shout out?" With what kind of stream do you think this is?
Bro, we need to start doing sub shout outs. Have you seen the markets? Have you seen the state of the industry? We need to learn how to do this shit properly.
Thank you, board boy 22 for your sub. We need your 30 cents. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you, Maximus Markimus, for your sub. I have no idea how to do that. I don't even know how to know someone's subbed. The only reason we even turned them on is for the ad break stuff that it jumps in there.
Oh, look, it works, mate.
Yeah, we're getting subs.
Inspix gave some people some subs. The problem is, then some people are subscribed to this Twitch channel, aren't they? And they might get the curse by association. So really, if you sub someone and you're the receiver of the sub, it might actually be terrible for you.
Thank you to the person that noticed that I was mimicking the Jimmy Fallon skit. I was. Who plays Inverse Bra in the movie?
Bro. I'd like to think it like well, you know what he looks like, right? Or was his previous profile picture when he was the other name, which I'm not gonna share.
Yeah, I know the picture of his other name. But I have an idea in my head for a really good candidate.
Keanu Reeves.
Oh no, I was gonna say Steve Buscemi.
Oh wow, that is a good candidate.
Yeah.
Just talking in like the weird voice in real life as well, like talking in like the Wassy speak in real life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Well, I kind of like the idea that it would be like Keanu Reeves, but it's like actual Keanu Reeves, and like his hobby is to be Inverse Bra, and he talks about it as though it's an art. Oh yeah, the dude from that he made the worst movie ever, and then they made a movie about the movie. What was he called?
I don't know.
Was it called The Room or something? The
movie about the movie. The Room.
Yeah, that's Inverse Bra.
Tommy Wiseau? Wiseau?
Yeah.
Apparently Jesse Powell wants to come on.
Right now?
Yeah, why would you want to come on right now?
Bro, we've been going for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I'm ready for bed.
I want to go have a shower and pretend that I've got something more interesting in my life than this fucking bullshit. I want to feel like my life has some meaning to some greater contribution. Not we're just all getting sat here scammed by sociopaths while we don't know what the fuck's going on and no one will tell us.
So are we going to call it a day? Call it a show?
Well, is Jesse coming on?
I thought you want him to come on?
Well, if he's like specifically saying he would like to come on now.
Well, I know he'd like to come on in general, but I don't know about right now.
All right, if he wants to come on in general, then we'll just do it like, I don't know, tomorrow.
My friend Jack said, "You guys are the worst live crisis broadcasters ever." Sorry, Jack.
Listen.
I was not checking Telegram, apparently.
So what's the latest?
I don't know. I think it's all too old now.
How can, if this is like a actual malware update and malware on the website, and wallet's been cleaned out and shit, there's like a multi-system, very quick coordination of stuff, right? It's not just like take the wallet, oh look, we have access to this. It's like, they've just churned through those things incredibly quickly. They must have been planning to that. And the only people that will have had time to plan something like that is insiders.
Yeah. It's yeah. Inside job, man. I think I'm allowed to read this, but it's definitely anonymous. But there's...
Is it from Jack?
No. Yes. Yes, it's from Jack. Apparently, more people knew on the Alameda side.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Gary Wang, this mysterious Gary Wang guy, has done 5 GitHub contributions yesterday. If you go on his GitHub, you can see the code contributions he did. There were 5 contributions yesterday.
He made 5 contributions yesterday?
Yeah.
Still shipping code.
Wait, what day is it for you?
For me, it's Friday. It's Saturday for you.
Okay, so he did 5 today for you.
Did you see the thing about Sam causing 3AC to blow up, like help triggering that blow up? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that Su Zhu retweeted it, but I didn't know what he meant.
Well, Su...
But the thing that's tough with all this stuff is, like, I mean, to talk to Su, you have to talk to someone that personally committed a bunch of fraud, right? So, like, everyone's got their own agenda in this stuff. Like, a lot of it started with Do Kwon and Luna and stuff, and then there's like 3AC stuff wrapped in there, and SBF Alameda stuff wrapped in there, and there's all these people that have blown up and all committed some kind of amount of fraud in their own way along the way, and everyone just wants to therefore clear their name, blame it on someone else, blah blah blah. So I don't know who, like,
well,
yeah,
I guess their point...
It's very, very convenient to say the current enemy is the one that blew me up.
But
and maybe it's true, but it's
I wonder if because of the FTT, like Su's ICO critiques, that there was some kind of long-standing beef that wasn't really well known. Su's, the follow-up to that tweet that I showed earlier, Su Zhu was critiquing the ICO itself and like the specific details and calling it a scam back in 2019. I can't find it right now. Is the Multicoin thing public somewhere?
What thing?
Having been able to audit their books.
Yeah, they wrote in their investor letter why they lost funds on FTX and all this shit, and they said they audited their Q2 financial report or whatever.
Find that.
So Jesse said he's ready whenever, but I don't know what he was responding to because Nomad deleted the tweet in classic Nomad fashion.
I'm getting some good DMs, but I don't know which people are telling me to I can say or which I can't.
Oh, the trick with that is just say it no matter what. At least that's the technique I go for. People DM you and say, "Oh, don't share this," and then you just share it anyway. That's the way. People know that. That's how the relationship works, right? They can cover their back by saying, "Don't share this," and then I go, "Sorry."
Some of these core people are still at FTX, like Gary and Nishad. They're still there. They're the ones not communicating right now.
Oh, Nomad said he said, "Hey Jesse, went up only." All right, let's arrange one with Jesse soon because I'd like to hear what he has to say about all this stuff, and I think that we can prompt him into being a little bit more scathing.
There's a CoinDesk article about the audit firm for FTX's financials, and apparently the FTX audit was extremely sketchy. Right.
Was it one of the 145 companies under SBF's company umbrella?
Prager Metis.
That's an anagram of Alameda. It actually is.
Let me see this little copy over here. Haha. Apple is so much better than PC. All right. You see that? Here's the article. 1 billion revenue 2021. Prager Metis. Yeah. This was FTX's auditor. One of their operating locations on its website is the metaverse. I hate crypto. Prager Metis was proud to support FTX US.
All right, so chat can decide if we did decide to keep doing this stupid podcast and did decide to have a new sponsor, who should we get? Whoever you suggest, the funniest suggestion wins, we'll just go ask them. Kraken, Binance, FTX, Blue Chew, Fleshlight, Polkadot, BitMEX, JP Morgan, Justin Sun from Tron, Matty Sino, Nando's. I'll go with Nando's, bro. Nando's wins.
McDonald's.
Don't think. Yeah, McDonald's. I mean, it would be great to be sponsored by McDonald's, to be honest. I like your idea when we were talking about like when we got to the end of the FTX contract, and you were like, "Can we just get sponsored by like Tether or USDC?" So it's like in a bull market, it powers the bull market, and in a bear market, it's the superior asset, so it's always relevant.
Tether, USDC.
Tether and USDC are absolutely fucking printing as well. They're making so much.
Could we get
money.
both of them?
Don't they hate each other?
Yeah, that's what's so fun about it.
No, because we can't bring the two entities with the same business model that hate each other into conflict in a podcast that is cursed. Look at what happened the last time.
We are brought to you by stablecoins. Thanks for watching Up Only.
Someone in the chat said, "Can you do a practice for the McDonald's sponsorship by looking into the screen and saying that you're loving it?"
If we were sponsored by Tether,
go do it, Ledger. Do it. Look into the screen and say that you're loving it.
What? I didn't hear what you were telling me to do. I was ignoring you.
Someone in the chat said, Can you practice the McDonald's sponsorship by looking into the screen and say, I'm loving it?
What kind of cadence do they use with that? Like, it.
Well, what, have you heard a McDonald's TV advert before? Don't you go like, and then it's
I'm
like,
loving it. Like that. Was that good?
Yeah, I mean.
Y'all act like this is new. Cobie used to make me do accents, did all kinds of he made me do a dance. He threatened no more shows until I did that dance. And now it lives on forever.
Maybe we should never have done any more shows. You should have gone, okay.
Okay, no more shows.
No more shows then. Oh, man. I'm starting to feel like a little bit ill, like I've got a cold. Maybe I've got COVID. Imagine I get COVID the week of all this shit. I've got to just lie there watching it all happen with fucking COVID.
Then all you can do is doom scroll. I mean, it's not any different than what you're doing right now.
Yeah. All right, we got 9 minutes left. Let's call it at 3 hours. 3 hours is way too long.
Yeah.
You know, I was so excited for God of War Ragnarok to come out. And it came out like fucking a week ago or something. And I haven't been able to think about God of War Ragnarok at all because the industry that I've devoted a third of my life to has fucking imploded on itself due to a couple of sex cult orgy sociopaths committing large-scale fraud and financial crime. I just want to go play a dude with an axe and fucking kill some monsters, man.
You know, you can actually use an axe in real life. You can go chop some wood. It's much more cathartic.
Bro, if you give me an axe in real life right now, it's going to be another incident. Have you seen the meme of someone going to heaven and they're like, "Where are you, Grandma? Where's Grandma? Nice to meet you, Grandma." And then there's a dude going to heaven and he's got an axe in hell and he's just shouting, "Where is SBF?"
That's a good one. It makes me sad though.
Also, while I was saying that, I realized that people explaining memes really doesn't work. Like, it's not just better to see the thing. It's like an order of magnitude different to describe a meme and actually see the meme. Really doesn't work.
This is a good one from Fubar. In text messages to Reuters, Bankman-Fried said he disagreed with the characterization of the $10 billion transfer. "We didn't secretly transfer," he said. "We had confusing internal labeling and misread it," he added, without elaborating. So this is your thing.
Oh my God, that's like when Su Zhu said he misclicked.
Yeah.
Do you remember? He was like, "Why did you delete this tweet?" And he said, "I misclicked." He misread it. So what did it say? Alameda. And he read it as what?
I don't know. I mean, this is it right here. Oh, crap. There we go. Asked about the missing funds, Bankman-Fried responding, question mark, question mark, question mark. Confusing internal labeling and misread it? This is just classic sociopathic denial.
Yeah, Stun tweeted something like lying to the end like a child that got caught stealing.
It's unbelievable, man. I have more comments, but I can't tell what's what, so sorry. Can't read them. I don't even know if people are like joking with me or not. I did have it. I had another question for you, but now I've forgotten it. So the chat wants us to keep doing the show because this show's been a real pain in the butt lately. I don't know if y'all have noticed. We should just do like 12 sponsors and just put them in the corner and be like, y'all can look at their logos. We don't know anything about them. Just call it a day.
Or maybe we just get like some dude. I told some dude called Crypto 420 King that he would be the sponsor of this episode.
Crypto 420 King. Let's see if we can.
Yeah, it was a free sponsor.
I'll give him an ad read. Crypto 420 King. He has an Etsy shop. Are you sure this is the right person?
Maybe it was Crypto 42 King.
I'm just gonna. This looks like somebody more of our quality. Yeah. Is this him?
Yeah, that's him. That's the dude that's sponsoring this show. You got one free episode.
All right. Here, hold on.
Well, maybe check his tweets and replies to make sure that I haven't acknowledged the wrong person. Oh yeah, I get a packet of crisps for it.
There you go. Thanks for listening to this episode of Up Only TV, brought to you by Crypto 42 King, the Crypto King. Money never sleeps because business is business. Check out the Crypto King at Crypto 42 King on Twitter. Thank you to Crypto 42 King.
Elon just tweeted about FTX.
Oh, good. I'm gonna keep the music on.
Wait, why can't I find his Twitter account? The fuck?
FTX meltdown ransack being tracked in real time on Twitter. Yeah, no kidding. Elon, are you watching the show? Here we go. Come on the show. DM. I'll stay up if Elon comes on.
Yeah, he can replace me.
So I said, go to bed. This is Twitch. If Elon Musk comes on the show in the next like 5 minutes, can we just never do Up Only again? Make that be the finale? Or would that be the kickstart to have to do it all the time?
We could get sponsored by Twitter.
That is a great idea. How many $8 a months do you have to make that worth it?
Like literally, crypto Twitter is the perfect target for the verified checkmark.
It is. Pay $8 a month. Don't be a pleb. Twitter Blue is for you. That's what we'll do. I'll be extremely cheesy.
What about don't be blue, buy Twitter Blue?
Ooh.
And then at the end of the episode, we can have Blue Chews as well. It's just a whole blue themed sponsor.
Why do I have so many comments? There's that many people that are paying attention. If Elon Musk DM'd me, would it go in the like message request spam folder? I know, because I follow him, so it wouldn't. Someone said, "Don't do it, Elon. It'll be the beginning of your downfall."
At least he'd have us to blame.
Yeah. His entry to Twitter, they're changing everything so fast. They're they're changing this verified stuff every day.
In some ways, that's quite refreshing to me because Twitter was so stale for so long. But because it was so stale, you build all these habits, and when it changes, you're like, what the fuck? and like the change of everyone having a verified thing was happened quite subtly, and now it's just everyone everywhere.
Yeah, I used to like look at an account if they're verified just out of curiosity, and now it's everybody. So it did kind of cheapen that part because it's hard to tell, like trying to find out if there's some special relevance to a reply or a comment or whatever.
Yeah. I can't believe FTX is claiming they've been hacked for all of its remaining funds.
Basically, the only thing they would be worth now is the portfolio of like whatever, all the regulatory crap. Like, are they allowed in New York yet? Like the bit license type of stuff, or their clearing houses and that kind of those types of things that they had acquired over time.
Yeah, I don't know. Surely they're all getting revoked.
It's kind of funny to pitch to the richest person in the world. Thousands of people will pay you $8 if you come on the show. That's all you got to do. Thousands of people. Ooh. Y'all can't be DMing me. I'm thinking it's Elon. Apparently Zane would come back on, but Zane, my man, you got to go to bed, bro. We're going to go to bed.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous night, man. I don't even know what to do. When should we come back on? Sometime next week? See what we learn between now and then, and maybe do a digestion show. Like, I feel like
digestion show.
All this just you need time for people to absorb everything that's going on. Like, it's going so fast you can't even tell. I'm not coming on Monday. Well, I guess I wouldn't say I'm not. Just hopefully I'm not, because that would only mean that we got that much drama. The contagion is just going to be so severe, man.
Yeah. All right, dude. I gotta do something else. This is making me feel sad. I feel sad now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do something happy, like might go get a dog or something.
Get a dog. Oh man.
Might go adopt a dog.
We got to name your dog. Everybody send Cobie potential names for his dog.
If you send me the name Sam, I'm gonna fucking kill the dog. So don't fucking send me Sam.
Well, thanks for joining us on that note. See you later. Bye.